leadership skill. Now, I want to look at 3 types of leaders. There's what you call situational leadership. There's what you call non-hierarchical leadership, and there's relational leadership. And it's so simple. I just put it in this way. You must be cautious of it so that you know that for an intrapreneurship development, you must understand that you must not only fall into one of these styles, but you must use a combination of the 3. Now, situational leadership. The way it sounds, and that's exactly what it means. Leaders will find themselves, entrepreneurs will find themselves in different what? Situations. And the way you will handle that situation will be different from one to the other. Let me give you an example. The education staff of yours, who is a team member, is always one of drawing the team back. But you have checked him all over, and you think that maybe his problem is inferiority complex. But it brings in a lot of money. How do you address that? That staff needs a lot of motivation. That staff requires a lot of self-awareness. You need to give him confidence back amongst his team member. You need to find out what the issues are. In that situation, it's different from a non-committed staff who brings no money at all and also has complex issues. That staff should be on his way out. That's what I would recommend. After being given several chances of training. You know, with performance, you require training, technical. With commitment, you require motivational. And so you need to evaluate the number of expense on this staff. And the company also needs to decide how deep its portfolio is for them to be able to spend that much on the staff. And when do you draw the limit? It differs from company to company. And so you can let go. So the approach you will use in one situation is different from what? Another situation. You may want to give another person another chance because maybe you discover that this guy was a star performer where he was coming from, and it means that something must be hindering him here. You want to find out. That's leadership. You just don't want to run into conclusion. Non-hierarchical leadership is that it means that you can perform your leadership function as an entrepreneur at different hierarchy. You don't need to become what? MD. You know, when we say leadership, we normally look at no. It can be even from the cleaner stage. It can be from the, do you understand? It's at any level. So when you become an entrepreneur and they are not employing you as management executive, that is when you put on the garment of what? Leadership. You're a leader. You're a leader because you are an intrapreneur. You are naturally the type of person people will revolve around. Let me give you an example. I went to Ghana for a business deal with our technical partners. The trip was not supposed to be me, it's supposed to be the MD. The MD slotted me to replace him for a reason. I know that in the management team of the company, I am different. I know, I don't need to be told. Because they are all employees without having enterprise content. I know, and I don't blame them for that. A lot of them are in their late 40s and early 50s, so it's been long coming. It may be too late to change. They are like dry fish. You try to bend it, what happens? It will break inside the fish. So MD said, we are going. And I made some other few trips like that. But when I got to Ghana, we had some international representation from GSMA Worldwide and Audrey Park from Switzerland. There's a need to have a standing committee to steer Ghana digital revolution on health insurance. That was my first trip. I went with the MD of the technical company. In fact, the project even have a project coordinator. I was just attached as a consultant. After my presentation, they made me the chairman of the committee. I am telling you the truth. And I kept the mail on purpose. I know it didn't go down well with the project coordinator and the rest, but the difference was clear. Because I was thinking differently, I could see possibility, I had to galvanize my speech, In fact, I have worked as an entrepreneur all my life. So how could you pick me to this opportunity? It was impossible. It can't happen. I knew what to say even if I was lying anyway. Do you get? It was my turf. It was my time. And I took pleasure in making the presentation. And the country representative said, this guy, who is this guy? And you have not been bringing this guy. They said, that's why we want to say, let him be the chairman of the steering committee. They said, no. They need to go and do voting. Even INEC cannot rig that election. 1 million soldiers can't rig that election. It's not possible. So I became the chairman of the steering committee. And what is the issue? We have a session in about 4 countries later in the year. All your trips are paid. Your name will be clearly written as a policy initiator, and you are crafting the policy for a global initiative like that. It puts you on the world stage. But also you see the advantage, because I have a managing director that gives you room to fly. You know, you can have a boss too that will cage you. If my boss had an employee mentality, it would have a problem. He will even see me as a threat to his job. But because the man has been an investor all his life, entrepreneur, so immediately identify the entrepreneurship this thing in you, everything just aligns and it connects. And say, this is the guy I can work with. And that is why I say employers demand. These are the type of people want to work with. If you see the Elumelus, all these eyebrow people, they have PAs. Those are the type of people they move closer to them. People that can think straight, not employee mentality. Hey, Oga, I've been wanting to tell you, when are you going to increase my salary? He will sack you. He will sack you. That's what you are thinking. That's not what he wants you to think. What he wants you to think, Oga, I've thought about another way we can revolutionize this thing. Let's get together. That's what they employ you. Because it is from there, they don't need to increase your salary. Your fortune increases. Do you understand? That's an entrepreneur. That's an entrepreneur. Okay. Relational. It means that don't forget as an entrepreneur. Okay. Qualities of an effective leader: they lead by example, they are visionary. What do you live for? You live for your vision. Do you have one? Yeah. If you don't have one, you need to carve one. Coach their people, they mentor their people, they take responsibilities for success and failure, provide inspiration, motivate, create leadership and successors, build men and what? Institutions. What is attitude? Attitude is actually everything that you do, the way you do it. Do you understand? Character, personality trait can be embellished in attitude. Attitude is everything. Attitude and your choice is a matter of choice depending on the kind of attitude you want to put. You need always back up your attitude. You must be aware of how you behave at every instances. You must change your bad attitude into good, turn attitude into action. Warning, attitude hazard. A lot of people choose what they want to look like at every instance. Have you met difficult people before? Another person will come and say, you see that messenger who? She's a devil. Say, that sweet girl. Do you know why? Because she's sweet to that person and she's a devil to this person. All of us have potential to show different traits, and it's always a function of how the people address us. Simply like say this guy don't like me, myself I will show him say I be kanda. Are you getting the point now? Then other people say this guy is nice to me, I will give this guy my sweetest and nicest parts. I get the point now. But usually it always doesn't work like that. It's attitude money. You must make people see you for just who you are. It doesn't matter. It's trying to be wicked and terrible to you. Be yourself. So that one word will describe you in unison. Do you know that guy? Is that working? No, I thought he was lazy. Do you understand? You have a dual attitude. Are you get? Be known for something. Attitude toolkits. All the time and every time, it is always the positive attitude you should have options about. You know, some people, you know, attitude can be so funny that I can know your attitude without you speaking. Develop what it takes to have good attitude. Make a mark that cannot be erased. Now, this is the last slide. And I'm going to leave you with this. I'm sure all of you knows who this is. You know him? Have you met him before? He's a cool guy, isn't he? Can be a lady too at times. The lady ego. Where's our brother now? He needs to help me double click on this. This is the last story I'll be leaving you with. It's called the story of the ego. It teaches a lesson about all the things we have been talking about. I want to see which lesson you will draw from it. I'd like you to be cautious of the tag. I call it the story of what? The ego. Not the story of a ego. Please go along, because this slide is a training program on its own for a whole day. But you pick relevant lesson from there. The eagle has the longest lifespan of its species. So there are so many species of the eagle. But it's the eagle. It can live what? You see the language again. It can. It didn't say it will. Hello? It didn't say it will. It can. So it's a matter of what? Choice. Choice. But to reach this age, the eagle must what? Make a very, very hard decisions. For entrepreneurs are like hard decisions from the one. You want to stand out differently. But you can reach the top. Not that you shall, if you don't keep the momentum. Okay. In his 40s, as he's going by, his long flexible talons can no longer grab prey, which serves as what? His long and sharp beak becomes what? What's happening? Age. Fantastic. His old aged and heavy wings, due to what? Their thick feathers become what? Stuck to his chest and make it what? What's happening? Then the eagle is left with what? Die or what? Change. Wow. You see now? 2 options. Wow. Good. The process requires that the eagle fly to what? And sit on its what? There, the eagle knocks its beak against what? Until it's what? Plucks it out. Self what? Rejuvenation is starting. After plucking it out, the eagle will wait for a new beak to grow back, and then it will pluck out what? Its talons. When its new talon grows back, the eagle starts plucking his what? Old aged feathers. After 5 months, the eagle takes its famous flight of rebirth and lives for 30 more years. Wow. You know, there's a difference between story and Tori. This is not the Tori. Real life. That's story of the eagle. Now, conclusion. Why is change needed? You need to change from the employee mentality to the entrepreneurship mentality. It's the sign of the times. Many times, in order to survive, we have to start what? A change process. A tweaking mentality. We sometimes need to get rid of old memories, habits, and other past what? Traditions. Only free from past burden can we take what? Advantage of the present.